Well, you're filming. You're not going to go get a drink?
No, let's go.
Josh, do you have like a Bud Light you can lend him? The hell is that?
It's in the cards, dude.
Let's go.
All right, ready? Whoa. Welcome to Metazoo be with you, America's most late-night TCG podcast. We only film when the sun goes down. I am, of course, joined by vampire number one, Josh. Right. Oh, my God, it's like that A Forgotten Realm set. I am also joined by the man who sunk Hasbro stock all the way to zero, Louis DeGeorge.
What's up? And we're joined by George, the man who just wants a TCG to be successful, but can't.
No, I'm
figure
done.
it out.
I'm absolutely done. I don't care anymore.
Do it.
I'm done. I've had a great run. I see the sunset in the horizon.
Fine. Let me start. The man who has more Pokemon listed on TCG Player than any other seller. You want to fight to the bottom? You got to fight through George.
I don't have more listed, but I definitely could. I like.
The
How did they
crankiest
not
store
cut
owner
me
in modern
at
America.
all on Silver Tempest? How did they not cut me at all?
All right. For those of you who this is your first time on the podcast, because we hear you in the comment section,
What?
George owns a LGS in one of the Carolinas. Nobody really knows which.
No. If it's your first time, go back to episode 1.
Do
We'll see you
not.
in a few weeks.
God, do not do that to yourself.
I was a lot uglier in the first season.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Josh is Mitch 2.0, and
I have choice
Or,
words for you.
or 0.5, depends on who you ask. Continue.
Josh has Hometown TCG, a world famous YouTube channel in which he puts out Magic content. I think. What are you doing these days, buddy?
Yes.
Pump your stuff. Pump your jam.
We got a couple of Magic videos dropping this week. I'm excited to talk Brothers War and play some Arena.
Brothers
And,
of War, awesome set.
Here on Kitchen Table TCG, I'm just glad that you want to hang out with us. I'm just glad you're here. I also own a store if this is your first time here. And
No.
I have opened more boxes of Brothers of War than I know what to do with this week. So we're
You're
going
trying to rip off my customers as the benefit of that.
No, hey, I got 2 of these bad boys now, baby. Look at that. Shattered glass.
Some about in the Brothers of
Okay.
War section.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Brothers of War. We're going to talk
Go
about
the 2. I was right, Josh. Continue, Louis.
the Brothers of War. That's what it is.
You did not
You
say
keep
that a
calling it
second
Brothers
ago.
of War.
Whatever. We're going to talk about the PPs. Should we tell them what the PPs
So
are?
stupid.
Or should we just leave
So
it go?
stupid.
This is
the dumbest
the
thing.
world's most mature podcast today. This is products. I don't even remember the other P and promos. There's a lot of products and promos from Magic we want to talk about. We're going to talk about Cryptic, a new TCG that just delivered. Apparently, we're doing that twice. And then we're going to talk about Sorcery being locked in, and then Genesis, and then Hero Quest. So lots of things to discuss. George is super excited about it.
I'm in. I'm ready.
When are we talking about Pokemon? What's that?
I
No.
know. I wanted to talk about the new Pokemon set, but George was like, no, too many
Okay,
games.
fine. You were done with the new Pokemon set. Go to TCG Player, find Compete Sport, and click Buy Now.
All right. So, Brothers of the Brothers War. I can't wait for the comment. These idiots don't even know what the name of the
I was having this argument with George for 20 minutes before you showed
Listen.
up because you're late as usual.
I don't know what the name of the set is because the only thing I do is open the packs and throw the wrapper away and get to the cards that need to be listed. All right. This set, where do you guys want to start? Let's start.
Go ahead.
No, where do you want to start?
You just said, where do you want to start? And then you answered your own question.
All right. So I think that this set I think everyone's super negative about Magic right now, but this set has so much positive going for it. I think it's insane to not interact with it. It's got basically the same thing as the Mystical Archives from Strixhaven, down to the numbers. I ran the numbers today. I was going to do a video. I didn't get a video out today because my kids.
Shocking.
63 cards in Brothers War artifact lineup. 63 cards in Strixhaven, 15 mythics, 30 rares, 18 uncommons, 18 uncommons. It's the exact same layout as the Strixhaven Mystical Archives. Additionally, it has basically.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. This is what show is that? What is?
It's an infomercial. Ron Popeil.
It's the Ron Popeil set of
R.I.P.
Magicthegathering.
I think.
It's got the Kamigawa chase in it, in the, well, we think maybe
It does not, but continue.
That's your hottest take about this.
That
set
is
right
the
there.
hottest.
That's
that
the
is the
hottest
hottest
take
take.
about this.
They
How many
said
of you
it's the
pulled?
same pull rate.
I'm not saying it's the same poll rate. I'm saying that does not matter as much as you want it to.
Okay, we'll talk about that. But then it also, what's the other thing? It also has a transformer. It basically has a secret layer in it because for whatever reason,
I don't think IP matters. Continue.
for whatever reason, they were like, I can't find another way to do another secret layer. So it has all these things wrapped up into one set. I just don't see how it isn't a successful set. I called this as the most successful set of the year. I'm doubling down on this episode.
Now that the set's released and we know what's in it, you're doubling down.
That hasn't
Bold
released
strategy.
yet. Today is
Bold
Wednesday.
strategy.
Today is Wednesday.
You've opened how many boxes?
You have set box openings on your video or on your channel. You have videos.
I
Whatever.
don't understand your point.
That follows.
I'm doubling down. Doubling
You don't
down.
understand. That also follows. So, I mean, like, listen, I think it's a great set. It's almost like having numbered cards and alt art cases really helps pump up a set. Like, somebody should have been saying this for a year and a half. I don't know. We could really have thought about this earlier. I mean, like, they copied sports. They've copied sports. It's what all these games should do. I do not understand how every game doesn't copy this. Why is this set going to be a success? Because there's alt arts, because there's secret rares, because there's numbered cards. There's all the things that cause people to want to crack packs. But like, it's going to work.
Is there a chance? And I think this set is great. I actually want to get down, as we talk about this, get down into the regular versions of cards from the set, which is something we don't really talk about much when it comes to these sets. But is there a chance this set has too many things? Is there a chance that our consumers can get thing overload?
No, like we had this conversation on the phone, Josh, today, which is like what Strixhaven didn't have for it was the set itself a home run, particularly for Pioneer, Modern, and for Commander. And I think like this set has some. I know you love Commander. This set has some powerful cards that have the potential to interact with a lot of formats. It's got everything going for it. Like what you're saying has too much. What do you mean too much?
As far as the special stuff on top, you transitioned already into like the regular cards in the set and their power level. And if the I'm talking about the showcases, the serialized cards, the transformers. It's got everything. Is there a chance some people are like, I like to chase one thing and I don't know what I'm chasing necessarily.
Stop. No, that's crazy talk.
It was a question, but sure.
Yeah, well, that's a crazy question. I think like the weird one is the Transformers. Like, I am very torn on how the Transformers will do because they just seem kind of like thrown in.
Yeah, why was that in there?
Yeah, like that is the question everybody's asking.
It's in there because Transformers are brothers at war fighting each other. That's what they kind of.
Oh my god!
said.
Please tell me that's not the reason.
That's the reason.
This is why Hasbro stock is tanking. So the real answer, Josh, is because they're like, I got to use this Hasbro IP for something. I have an idea. But
they have an outlet for that secret layer. They made 13 in October or something. 14.
Nobody's buying the Transformers secret layer. Nobody's buying the Transformers.
Dude,
secret
that's
layer.
not true.
Transformers
George,
a pretty big IP.
Listen,
I don't
George,
know.
You don't read the comment sections. Every single one of my videos, anytime I mention how much the Transformers make no sense to me, people say, I love the Transformers. I can't wait to buy them.
I think it does better than the artist series cards and stuff.
I don't know if there's I don't sense a huge market for these. I'll be honest.
I disagree. I think Transformers is.
I
don't like Transformers. I'm not like a fan of Transformers, but like I have been proven wrong by like the comments in my comment section about people who care about Transformers and in the store. 3 people in my store today said, "Hey Lou, I want to get this legendary card to build a Transformers commander deck." I guess. Oh, we're gonna be streaming on Sunday this week at I don't know 6 o'clock, something like that. I don't know. We'll announce. But like the guys who I stream with, they're like, "Hey, I want to do Transformers Commander." I was like, people are gonna hate that, but also people might love it. So like, people are interested in building like the legendary creature. Like it's like a thing, man.
I think it feels really thrown in.
Oh, I totally agree. That's
yeah.
Like I think it should have been. Like, I think the secret layer would have sold a lot.
I don't think so, but like I do know like this feels kind of weird that you're just like, oh,
Yeah,
Thanks for the random Transformers card in my pack. Like
They're robots in disguise, dude. Come on.
yeah, and they're two brothers at war apparently. Are they brothers?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know the
I know
storyline
nothing.
enough.
Transformers lore is not
Like,
my.
all right,
my
put in the comment section below, or like Transformers, like family members. I guess like I never knew that.
Well, maybe they're brothers in war. You know, like they're brothers. I don't know.
Oh God, it got worse.
Okay, so
Oh my
listen,
God, it got worse. How is that possible?
These takes are horrible, but you made a point earlier talking about comparing
horrible.
this to Strixhaven, and it has everything except the playable cards. But when we
And
talked about
Transformers.
this and we looked into it, Strixhaven has more playable cards than we initially thought. All the way down at the commander level. It's got the dragons that you play with commander, or you play commander with. It also has Professor Onyx, which is a chase, but it isn't really played much. It's got the commands Witherbloom and Prismari command, both seeing play. It's got the black-white removal spell, remove target monocolored permanent. I can't remember. So
But we talked about the land cycle too. Was also not super.
The land cycle in Strixhaven is terrible. So looking back on Strixhaven, maybe just kind of an underrated set. But if this has a better version of regular playable cards, do you think that affects the chase cards? If the base set is better, are the chase cards more valuable? Are they more sought after?
So I have a couple. Let's talk about the chase card now. I have a couple of like takes on that. Sure. Whenever you have a chase card in a set, inevitably the other value of the cards goes down because more people open boxes.
Sure.
And so the other cards come down in value.
Yep.
That happened, I believe, with Strixhaven with the Mystical Archives. People wanted to pull the Diabolic 100%. Tutor. People wanted to pull the, whatever. So that is the not Soul Ring, the Mox Amber, I think it is in the set, right? Mox Amber? Yeah. Yep. Mox Amber looks beautiful. It's awesome. People are going to want it. People are going to open packs to try to get something like that or get something to trade for it. And that's going to drive the value of the other cards down. But you also have the now the serialized version, which is like a lottery card.
I think those
are going to be bonkers.
I think those are going to be stupid.
There's not enough of them.
I think those are. I mean, like I
pulled one today.
Those have the potential to be totally bananas.
I don't know, man. Do you want to talk about the clumping?
I don't think that matters. Like we can, but like I don't think that matters. Like, okay, first we should be very, very careful here. Our sample size is like 10 cases.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Like we don't have nearly enough evidence of clumping.
Well, so
I will say, like, of the cases I opened, my store opened, one case had several, and the other cases had none of the serialized cards.
So I didn't have a collector's. I haven't opened all my collector's boxes. I'm doing it tonight. I was going to do it while we were recording, but George said I wasn't allowed. But I had massive clumping issues in set boxes. We opened all 70 of my
your set boxes.
I opened 70 set boxes. And we had clumping in 2 areas of the set boxes. I pulled the same list card, the same 3 list cards in the same case, like from like back-to-back boxes.
That's wild.
Yeah, and like
on the list, that's wild.
Again, George already said it. Like this is one very small sample size, but the same 3 of back to back to back. There's 2 of the same 3 cards back to back to back. And then in the foil artifact slot, the same thing. Like I opened a case and I noticed I pulled the same 4 foil retro artifacts. So like there's certain, in my boxes anyway, there was a certain clumping going on. And so it wouldn't surprise me with all these additional things that they have to sort and organize and put out. Like, did that result in some sort of clumping? That would not surprise me. It would make it really hard. And this is what George and I were talking about on the phone today. Make it really hard to value these cards because you're going to see some people being like, I opened up 100 cases and I got no serialized cards. Then you're going to see some people be like, no, I got 3 serialized cards in 1 case of collector boxes.
Holla. I mean, like, I don't think that's going to matter. I think, like, I think the serialized cards have the potential to be totally stupid.
Hmm.
I mean, like, I mean this. Like, you're gonna have set collectors. How many total sets of these cards can exist?
500.
That number's not 500.
Yes, it is.
No, it's
because
not.
some of them will remain unopened.
Some of them will remain unopened. Some of them will, like, if I open the card, I'm not going to sell the card. Some of them are just going to go after this card or that card. Like, I think total sets are going to be somewhere in that 300 range at the highest number.
That's crazy.
And I mean, like, how many Magic collectors are there? And, like, more importantly,
Well, the question is,
how many high-end Magic collectors are there?
but then the other question is like, how many are left?
Oh, stop it. Oh my God.
Listen. This
Oh
is going
my
to harken back
God.
to something like this is going to at least
How
tingle
many
the
are
ear
left?
of reserve list collectors and those kind of investors because they are a limited print item. It's going to at least tickle the fancy of people like that. And it's the first time probably since the Neon Ink card that collectors like that are going to perk up and listen. These are going to be huge, man. Like I overestimated the value of the Legends slot, and I still think it's cool.
You did.
But
you did.
This right here is going to really engage that community. If you bring that community into anything, it's going to pump. It's going to be insane.
So the pushback to that I've felt a little bit, and that I've heard from some people, that was a good one, is
terrible.
Is okay, there's serialized cards now. Are they just going to do this next set? And so on every set there's going to be serialized cards, and it degrades.
Hope so. I hope so.
That's not a big deal.
Like, guess what? Every sports product the last 20 years has had serialized cards.
If it's not the same card again, it doesn't make it. Now, if they keep doing the same, if they do Mox Amber over and over and over again, and there's 500 of them over and over and over again, it's not like a sport. It's not like a sports card. It's not the next year.
Yeah, why would they do that?
Yeah, if it's different cards though, no way.
Yeah, they have different cards.
Listen. 32,500 different serialized cards. There are 32,500 cards with numbers on them. That's a lot of cards. Now, if you do, hold on, that
what a terrible take.
Now, if you,
it's just math. It's not a take. It's just
now, if you say, okay, for 4 sets a year, we're gonna do that. We're gonna have. Now you have 100 and I'm gonna do math. 130,000. Let's just add it. 130,000. Actually, I think that math is pretty much accurate.
That's correct.
Wow. I'm learning how to read.
Count, you just can't read.
Yeah. Now you have 130,000 cards with the cereal on them. At some point, they stop being
cereal on them.
Yeah.
You have 130,000 corn pops.
You cannot get this take out. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Louis. Put my microphone on.
What's your favorite cereal? And why is it cinnamon toast crunch?
That is correct. You're correct.
Definitely raw, like Cheerios with like regular Cheerios with milk and blueberries in them. Yeah, like real fresh blueberries with Cheerios. That's the best meal.
More than cinnamon toast crunch.
All right,
100%.
All of your takes are so bad this week. This not
is terrible for you.
Kidding me?
This is terrible for you.
The best cereal.
Is it like for dietary reasons?
No, it just tastes so good. You just want more. Anyway,
Listen,
they came out with the cinnamon French toast cereal. That was very good. It's the same thing, I think, just different shapes.
Back to my take. Once you have 130,000 of these in circulation, they stop being special and they stop being important when everybody just has one.
But you don't. But there's not 130,000 in circulation.
That blanket statement doesn't. That blanket statement doesn't work. That doesn't work.
I think so.
It's not like every card that has a serial number on it, Louis, it would be equal, right? There's certain people who want sets. There's 62. There's 62 cards in a set.
So here, there's 63 cards in a set. So
it does not matter.
I think that the way to do this would be to not do this serialized thing every time. Also, like 63 cards at 500 each seems like a lot to me. I think they should have reduced that. I think. What they wanted was one of each of the artifacts, which would be fine. And maybe it's like in the next set, there's only 10 cards that are serialized.
That's too few.
I just think it needs to be special. Like when you pull a serialized card, I don't want that card to be worth $80, $90, $100.
It won't be.
We'll see.
You admittedly are a bit tainted from all the other TCGs that we cover and talk about. It's a much smaller, more niche market, and you have an opportunity to open cards that are bigger hits. So your Magic product in itself, you want to feel that same rush. However, in all of this argument, you failed to mention something you seem to mention every week. There's like 22 million players. I think George and I get a text update once. Hold on. I let you finish. You let me finish. Boo, boo. We get a text update every week about how many millions of Magic players there are. Admittedly, all 22 million players do not want to collect these cards. That's fair. However, a large enough portion of them do, where the fact that there's only 35,000 matters. That matters. That's not enough.
If there's 1,000 high-end set collectors in Magic, you have probably at least 3 times too many that can complete a set.
All right,
you need to have 1,000 high-end set collectors. That seems very reasonable for like the largest TCG by a mile.
Yeah. So let's set the success of these cards. George, what is a success? The lowest value serialized card. What is the
150.
Success? 150.
I was thinking about 1 to 150. George, nice.
Okay,
that was impressive.
Like I think you're gonna have the lower end ones being the 100 to 150 range. I think the higher end ones could be stupid.
Yeah. So like I don't remember what one did I pull today.
So it's going to be also weird because I think there's also going to be like some love around some weird ones, like Mishra's Bobble. I think is going to do very well.
That's a super
Mishra's
popular
Bobble right now is going to pump.
I got the Black Blade Reforged.
Number 2,
Number 2, 3, 4. Did you get 2, 3, 5? That would be cool.
No, that would be cool.
You take a picture.
Louis, and like I'll be honest, Louis, is that stuff.
Yeah.
Is that interaction right there is exactly why these are going to go nuts.
Okay. Like so I think success for me is like, I guess the lowest value one at 150, 200 would be fine. That'd be fine.
Listen,
I just it's like you pull one and it's like supposed to be so special, and then like
it is though. Like it is special.
Listen,
There's only
we talk about this often. I care too much about the money side of things because
there's only
n
number of
the human connection and the human interaction and the gameplay, not your greedy finances.
It's not about greedy. It's about like I wrote a check to my distros this week that scared the living. No,
that has nothing to do with this set.
No,
George, listen, man,
I do not want to hear about your checks with distro this week.
You have other things. This is all I have. This is it.
This might be all I have at the end of the week.
And this podcast is all I have. So can we stay on track, please?
Like this has been a rough week for the distro life. There's been some big checks cut this week.
It's gonna be super interesting to see what happens. I think you guys are probably right on this. I think I'm probably underestimating the value of Magic the Gathering collectors in this world and the money that is there. I think that's probably
so. I have a hot take.
Okay.
And it goes back to Expeditions. When Expeditions were released, and then I guess the Priceless Treasures, which were much less talked about in the original Zendikar, right? When stuff like that was released, it gave birth to a whole section of the Magic community that lived through an era that got to feel the excitement of opening something like truly special and truly amazing. And then it kind of faded away over time. Like that had been gone out of Magic. I'm going to tell any viewers, this is my take. This is not financial advice in any way. This is your opportunity to have that feeling. I sense that Wizards will not continue the serialized thing in every set because they kind of did the Expeditions and then it tapered off. And maybe they'll do them for a while and it'll taper off into the next thing.
This is a one-off. Holy Jesus.
Hold on.
Well,
and I think this is their chance to experience what could be a really awesome time in Magic.
I don't think that's a horrible take. We're going to talk about the promos here in a minute, and the promos have the same little, like it looks the same, like it has the year on it. I was going to pull up a picture, I won't, but it has the year on it, and it's in the same font. Like maybe this is their way of like celebrating 30 years of like having
this is probably rarer than every card on the reserve list, isn't it? By a mile.
I would think so.
It might be.
Now there's
rarer than the original printing. It's hard to know now how many are left.
Yeah.
I mean, like, sure, but I mean, like, this is even probably way rarer.
Yeah, I agree. but there's also way less iconic. It's way less.
It's yeah, sure, but it in itself, serialized cards are a pseudo reserved list.
Yeah, I'll stop.
This is a reserve
poo-pooing it.
list I can support, so that's good.
I'll stop poo-pooing it. I
No,
wish
it's fine.
I wish it was unique artwork. That's the last thing I'll say.
I completely agree with that. That was like lazy on their part.
Yeah, I wish they had done so. If you wanted this to be a 30-year celebration, have the iconic Magic artists all come up with a piece of artwork that's really special
100%.
for
I'm into
these
that.
serialized cards to make them like really, really, truly special collector pieces.
Or even just do full art, no text.
I'm in for that.
Full art textless cards are sweet.
Yeah.
Those things are cool. You guys want to add more stuff to the set with all the stuff, though.
So this will be replacing stuff.
Like,
No,
I-
like get rid of Transformers.
cards.
Get rid of
Yeah,
Transformers.
Like, you can never have too much stuff in a set, is my feeling.
Oh my
I will
gosh.
say, I also, Josh, like, I want to echo this. Opening set boxes has been the most fun I've had opening packs of any product probably ever. Like, it's
Really?
just, there's so much stuff. And then you get I can't pronounce this word. I've been trying to avoid it the whole night. But this schematic, the schematic cards, like you get these different variants. So the schematics are like, so on Mishra's Bauble and another one of them, I can't remember the name of the card. Swiftfoot Boots. I pulled in one run. I pulled 14 of the non-schematic and 6 of the schematic version. So those are like 3 times ish the rarity, or 2.5 times ish the rarity of the one. So it's like kind of cool to get those special versions of cards. It's gonna suck to ship them and to organize like a staff team to ship them without screwing it up. But shout out to Joey. Joey, don't screw up.
Like,
What up,
listen,
Jesse?
selling Magic singles is hard.
Jesse doesn't do my shipping anymore. Just
What?
Joey.
I still believe in you, Jesse. Screw it.
Joey's goat.
Jesse is goater.
Jesse's got other things to do.
And
That's
Taylor.
cool.
And
Ooh, what is
Tyler.
that one from?
And who else? do I have?
Tidings, man.
What's that from?
It was an old Mirrodin F&M promo.
Gosh, you're old.
Fact.
All right, let's talk about. You ready to move on?
Yep.
Speaking of
Wherever
promos,
you
let's
are.
talk about the PPs, promos and products. Gosh, are we gonna get like crap for that? Don't give us
We're
crap
not.
for that.
That wasn't my idea.
That was Josh's idea. Like,
Yeah. I'm not,
No,
we
no.
being me, I will not. That was a dumb idea.
nobody
My
really-
ideas are amazing. Like
No, but-
having serialized cards and TCGs.
So Magic promos come out. I got my promos this week. They've got the date on them for the card that was out. George, did you get your promos this week?
I got my promos this week, but I didn't know what they were until George mentioned them to me at the start of this podcast.
That's 100% true.
No, it's not.
Pulled out. That's
is.
100% what happened.
Where's the
That is
Patreon only
100%
episode? Where's the
what happened.
Patreon only episode?
Listen, this is straight up gaslighting.
This is
This is
100%
gaslighting.
true.
It is not true. I didn't know what promos you were talking about because you
Oh.
said that they were on their way to you, and I got mine a week ago. So Wizards must like me more. Shout out to
I
Mark
have no idea when I
Rosewater.
got them. I have no clue when I got them.
Yes,
Couldn't
Mark
tell you
Rosewater
within a
likes
month.
you more than anyone. That's
Yeah.
a fact, I'm sure.
Shout out to Mark Rosewater, Team Kitchen Table TCG, anti-team compete sport. Love it. He heard all the things I had to say about him. He constructively heard it as criticism, even though it was pretty horrible. And
I'm about to say you insulting his mother probably wasn't the most constructive.
Yeah, or his aunt, or what was it? I can't remember which one it was.
Attacking his family members, maybe.
Yeah.
rewriting history here. I didn't attack.
I'm going to
them.
send you a book about this later. Remind me, will you please?
You can't read it, George.
That's true. Never mind.
All right, what else were we talking about with the PPs?
Was that the whole segment? Was you got promos? Was that really the
got
entire
promos.
point of this
We got
dumb
promos.
segment?
Stop it. This was your idea.
Oh my
This
god!
segment was your idea.
So I wanted to talk about like the weird starter
Oh,
commander decks and
Yeah.
like who is this product for? Like who is a very slightly cheaper, way worse commander deck? Who's the buyer for that? Like who's like, I want that one. I know it's like almost the same price and 5 times worse. Sign me up, baby.
Calling all Dominaria United Jumpstart collectors.
Yeah, like
Buyers,
who's buying
like,
the Dominaria Jumpstart commander deck? Like,
And
who's
before that, the
customer?
theme packs. Who are the theme packs for?
No,
what is
sucker stores that distro screws into taking it because they don't know better. Holler at me my first year.
No,
Okay.
it is for your grandma to go down the island Target and think, oh, he likes Magic and buy this, and then you have to pretend to be happy that you got it.
All right,
That's
well,
what it's for.
I'm going to take the other side of this argument.
Of course you are.
Now, before I take the other side of this argument,
Nope.
Mhm.
I
You
will-
believe it 100%. You love
I
it.
will. I will not be ordering any of these.
Okay.
But
I hate Lurkana. I'm going to order it. I love this product. I'm not going to order any of it.
Not
I
touching
don't
it.
love. I don't love this product.
This is the Louis DeGeorge story. Why your store is doing great, and this is obvious why. Continue.
Next week, are we going to do a segment where you explain this BS?
This product is not for LGSs. This product is for Amazon.
That seems really weird to have it on distro websites then.
Oh yeah, because Wizards actually cares about the LGS and wants them to be successful.
Oh my gosh!
Like,
What
listen,
is like
this product.
what, like,
This
Louis!
is a bad product for LGSs. This is a very good product for Amazon.
you can't have it both ways. Like
Yes,
this
you
is
can.
like Louis,
100%.
like you can't complain that they don't give stuff to LGSs and then be like, oh look, they gave us LGSs. It's not for them.
This
Like-
is okay. Like that's not my point. My point is that this is a good product for Amazon. These will be $20 decks on Amazon. You know how many people?
Okay.
You know how many
First,
people?
they had $20 commander decks before and they were amazing. Like I thought that was amazing when they used to do the $20 commander decks. I hope they bring that back in the next year. I loved every set commander deck being $20, and then once a year you get the Big Daddy commander decks, and that's awesome. Maybe it was twice a year. That was great by them. I
Interesting.
loved that.
My store did not like this.
You weren't a store.
No,
like, no
I-
kidding, you didn't
okay.
like it. You weren't open. Like, what is like? My store didn't like that.
It didn't sell nearly enough.
you
Yeah,
done?
like what mind reader were you back then?
Are you done?
You didn't
done?
exist.
I have all of those commander decks in my store right now. I've always had an inventory of commander decks that I've collected. And when I opened my store, I put all my collection of commander decks into the store and sold. And the expensive ones sell all the time, but the $20 commander decks, people don't like them.
I'm shocked they don't like the commander decks from many sets ago that were meant to be played with the set that came out many sets ago. I'm stunned by that.
I sell a commander deck from an old set nearly every week. And
I don't believe you. But far more importantly, those decks were not meant to be held over. They were meant to be played and then be like, oh, pass it along to a friend. That's why they're
Shame on
$20.
you, evil
Interesting.
investor.
interesting. So like when somebody comes
They
in,
didn't sell well in my store.
like they don't. Like those are the ones that
I
don't
want
sell
you
well.
guys to know alpha and beta did not do well at my store. Like I know that I wasn't open 25 years ago, but like they
I think this is
not big
gaslighting,
sellers
though.
for me. Not big sellers for me. This Magic the Gathering, not gonna make it. Not gonna make it.
This is why the comment section has heavily turned against Interactions like this.
Oh, that makes sense. That's if you become a Magic podcast, they've turned on me. I believe that fully.
So
that I fully accept and embrace.
my
George has entered his villain arc.
my
Yeah. What a weird timeline. I'm now in the villain arc. What a weird timeline. That's actually true.
my experience with people buying commander decks is that at the end of the day, they want their deck to have some sort of value to it.
Yes.
A big sales pitch for somebody for a new commander deck is, hey, this is a good deck that's fun to play. It also has a Teferi's protection in it. It also has a card that is very good, that's relatively expensive, that you might want to put in a future deck if you choose to upgrade it or whatever. These decks, I don't think have those things. So when you're interacting with an LGS owner or with your employee, whatever, there's not much to sell to a potential person. It's just, this is the commander. It's really basic. It's straightforward. It doesn't have much to it. But when you are a shopper on Amazon and you're like, oh, commander deck, oh, starter commander deck, oh, it's $20. It's an easy purchase for somebody on Amazon. And I think this is Wizards designing something that's not really meant to be at an LGS and not really meant to be sold. They're not really leaning into that. They're actually now starting to design things based on what will sell direct to consumer on Amazon to the very, very, very casual customer who, again, like we talked about last week, doesn't even know the LGS exists.
Now we know why you always wear a hat that protects the tinfoil. So like there is no evidence for this whatsoever, obviously. Like, let's start off with that. This is just like a wild old man yelling at clouds. The internet's taking my customers away. Like
I never said that. They're not my customers.
My customers
don't want this. They don't want a product that's not a good
I don't
deck
think
that's
anybody's
fun.
gonna want this. That's my point.
People who don't know a damn thing about Magic and have no clue about Commander, that's who ends up buying this product.
I feel bad.
Yeah, same for the theme packs. Same for Dominaria United Jumpstart. It doesn't make them good, valuable products, right? They're
it doesn't make them good products at all. It makes them terrible products.
I totally agree. I never said this was a good product. I said it was a product designed for Amazon.
I think at the start of this, we said they're bad products, and you said, I think I'm going to take the other side of this argument. I think that's how this whole thing started.
That's funny, Josh. I also remember something very similar to that.
The intention of this product is different, and I think
it's to prey on people that don't know what the heck they're doing.
Yeah.
Maybe prey on's too strong. It's to target people who don't know what the heck they're doing.
Very predatory of them. I got your back, Josh. I know where you're going with this.
Without affecting, because it doesn't cost them any. It doesn't cost them any more to make this deck than any of the other Commander decks.
Yeah.
They do it without affecting the secondary market. They sell a deck for $20. It can't affect the secondary market, generates them a lot of sales as a new entry-level product.
And you know what? Since this is the Festivus for the rest of us, and we are airing of all the grievances, can we talk about the fact that they're still printing Commander decks in 2-pod sets, like 2 decks? Why is there not 4? Why is there not 4 Commander decks? Why
I
is
agree
it 2?
with that.
It's
that
always freaking. It doesn't make any sense.
100%.
Because they started doing too many of them.
Then okay, you telling me they can't design 2 more Commander? Like, yes.
For the record, this one that we're talking about is a 5-deck set. Just
right.
I thought the Brothers War Commander deck was a 2-deck set.
Yes, but that's not the one we're talking about. We're talking.
No, I'm talking about the one that matters. We were over that. The product sucks. We all agree, except Louis for some reason. Yeah, but regular Commander decks, why are they printing them in pods of 2? I just want to get that out there.
I agree. I think that's really weird, to be honest, because it also means that like.
Now I know why it's so annoying when I keep doing this.
This video is brought to you by our Commander live stream on Sunday, where we are solving this problem by pitting the Brothers War Commander decks versus the Dominaria United Commander decks, which will be a good, fun endeavor. That's what we're doing.
Dominaria United Commander decks have a tabernacle, I bet. Let's do it.
It'd be crazy. You get to open your collector pack, your like preview pack. They did that again.
It's a foiled
tabernacle. Love it. I love that.
So it seems like this is weird that these new sets are coming in too. And then you look at something like, I mean, we're talking about all the products kind of product overload and products that are in a weird spot. And I find the Pioneer Challenger decks are doing like there's more of them available, but they're also for a weird audience. They're like, hey, you want to be competitive, you want to go to your FNM, but we're also going to hold a lot of the juice out of these things. Like they're very weird.
I think Pioneer was a great product, to be honest. I think Pioneer was a great way to introduce people to a format they're unfamiliar with.
Oh, like that was the point of the Pioneer is the best format in Magic theoretically on paper. On paper, it's the best format in Magic,
other than Commander.
The Pioneer decks have done really well in my store. We put them right at the
camping.
Put them right at the checkout line. It's like a people are like, oh, I've been looking to try to show up at Friday night. I'm gonna pick up one of these and try it.
Do you do Friday Night Pioneer?
We shifted from draft. Draft is hard. It's hard on Friday night because people like our traffic is really difficult. So if you start at 6:30, it's hard to get there with like coming home from work traffic. It's hard to get there on time. If you start at 7 after
they're late.
After you draft and get 3 or 4 rounds in, it's too late for people. So we moved our draft to Saturday. And on Friday, we're just doing Pioneer because it's easy. You show up and you play. We can start it at 7 o'clock or whatever, and like it's just easier to get through.
Not other stores do that. I've never been to an FNM and not been draft.
Not all my my clients live on the base.
Oh yeah,
not all mine do either. But I appreciate that.
A lot of locals to me play Modern and even Legacy for FNM. So
it's a FNM? Really?
Yeah, pretty big Magic scene up here.
Hey, do the Legacy do proxies?
From what I can tell, for actual events that have like a bigger prize pool, I won't say any stores, so it'll be fine. But they don't do it for things that contain like real prizes or FNMs. But if they have a one-off legacy event, often they'll allow them.
So I got roasted on my proxy video. We haven't talked about that on the podcast. Easily.
I want you to know, Louis, I watch very little of your content. I watch a tiny amount of your content. I watched that video.
I want the people out there to know that it's official, that this is not new news that you got roasted on a video. You have officially been trying to gather people's attention on the internet for 2 years now. You've been look at me for 2 years now. Congratulations, man.
So I got roasted.
You got mean roasted.
So,
I loved I want you to know, I read that comment section. That was a comment section I read. Everybody was like, oh my God, did you see what they're doing to Louis? I was like, on my way.
When you get more comments and more downvotes and upvotes than a major transitional video on your channel, I won't say which one, you know that you hit a topic that was pretty heavy. But I will say, my view on proxies has changed a little bit since the video. I understand. So my video, I didn't do a great job of explaining this, but like the conversation came more from like a commander. Yeah. Well, when you make content, you forget things. Like people hear things differently than you intend them to say. But
I think that means you say them wrong.
No, maybe I'm a bad content creator. Thanks, George, for telling me that 2 years ago. And then allowing me to quit my job and continue to make content. You're a great friend.
Huh.
But think the conversation of people, I think my commander pod isn't super try hard. So there's not really a reason to proxy. You can build a deck. Nobody's coming in with like $3,000 decks with all these expensive cards. Like I didn't come in with that attitude. And if that is your group, I think like you should be allowed to do whatever you want. But it changed my mind. One person changed my mind who said, I think Wizards should allow proxies at vintage and legacy events in order to support those formats. And I think that's a really, really interesting take because I've always wanted to do a vintage Magic night. Like I've always thought that would be super fun. I think it would be engaging. It would get people interested, people who want to play with these iconic cards. I think it would be a really interesting way to do it where it's just like proxies are allowed at official tournaments in order to do those events. George is shaking his head.
If only there was another way to get these older cards like reprinted in a way that would get it accessible to people.
But it's not tournament legal. You still can't, like, you can't.
Now I'm talking about the 30th. I'm talking about getting rid of the stupid reserve list.
Come on, Louis. You just, way to fall into it.
Yep. I'm not talking about the stupid 30th anniversary, which is fine with me still. Like I'm talking about like getting rid of the reserve list. Like,
listen, Wizards printing $1,000 4-pack sets of proxies, selling them, and then 6 months later getting rid of the reserve list and printing the actual cards.
I'm in.
It's the only timeline in which can piss off more people. That's the only timeline. That's the only one. I'm all in on that one. I'm in.
No,
that's fine. With me. That's
you're not.
Me. As long as you're okay with getting rid of the reserve list, I'm fine with it.
Josh likes.
Wow. You know what's really weird?
Yes.
One of my top 2 favorite content creators disagree with me with this, and my least favorite content creator disagrees. My favorite content creator disagrees with me on this, and my least favorite content creator agrees with me on this.
Am I your least favorite content creator?
No.
I have no clue what you just said.
I couldn't follow it. I think you were trying to burn me, but I couldn't follow it.
No, not you.
Really?
You're not my least favorite content creator. I just don't watch your stuff.
Okay. So
you can't be my least favorite.
Why is that the problem? Why does everybody nothing me?
I still have no clue who either of the content creators George.
Well, Rudy's the one that disagrees with me, but I love Rudy.
Well, that's because he's correct. Rudy's
wrong
on a lot of
not
stuff.
On this. He's not on this. The reserve list made no sense. Like it was a way to artificially inflate the market. It did that to save the game. I get it. But like you guys, like in 50 years when there's a billion Magic players, are we going to still be like, nope, can't reprint it?
I'm team keep the reserve list, but allow proxies and tournament play for reserve list cards.
Sure. That so you're fine with like I don't even know what that means. Like
It's called being Switzerland.
I don't think like
That
at
is-
that point they're
that
not
is
proxies
incorrect,
if they're
is
allowed in
incorrect.
legal tournaments.
Listen, Magic is a wonderful game with 4.6 billion formats. You can find one you like to play that doesn't involve the reserve list.
It's called
Heck,
Pauper.
I do all. Okay. All right. Real formats here, people.
Wow.
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 Hey,
Woo!
hey,
Just
screw
that's
you,
something
guy.
You like.
Screw you, guy. Go play your 3-turn crappy I hate you and everybody in the LGS modern. I've never met somebody
Why were
who
those
plays,
the adjectives you
because
chose to describe?
I've never met somebody who plays modern and is like enjoys Magic the Gathering. Like they just enjoy like beating up on their friend. Like that's what they do. Like they don't actually like playing the game. They like winning.
I mean, listen, I've seen your Commander stream. You like winning too.
Yes, I do.
Like, what do you mean? That's such a horrible take.
There's nothing Louis
We're
George likes
opinions
less
right
than
now.
losing.
So you know what's funny? I got no problem losing at card games. No
Wow.
problem. I don't mind losing at all. I don't even like winning at card games.
I like winning, but not at the sake of having fun.
Agreed.
But I see the value in being mad at losing and that being fun for everybody else. Like when I beat one time, I have a
This is gonna be bad.
yeah, my I shouldn't tell this story, but who cares? I have he might listen to the podcast. It's all right. I have
It's my wife. Hi, Dana. Let me tell you how I beat her last night in this game. It was great.
I like that you waffled on this like 6 times, and here you are pushing forward. Let's
Just
do it.
name and shame at this point, Louis. Go for it, baby.
So my commander deck Angus McKenzie. Speaking of reserveless commander, you tap 3 to fog anything, prevent combat damage. So this guy spends 15 minutes lining up his like turn where he's gonna kill my buddy Robbie. He spends 15 minutes counting out the damage, setting up his attackers, pumping his things, attacks, Robbie blocks. He plays some spells to pump up his creatures to like get the win in on Robbie. And I turn Angus McKenzie and I pay the 3 mana and I prevent combat damage. And he got so mad. And like that made me happy. Like that was fun. That interaction in that game was fun. And like so when people get upset about losing, like that's why I feel like it's okay to get upset with losing in a respectful way. Like flipping the
And
table.
if you want to support that mentality, you can visit patreon.com/KitchenTableTCG.
Obviously like flipping the table is not cool, yelling at somebody is not cool, but being frustrated that you lost gives the other person a sense of like I accomplished
Purpose.
something. Yeah.
Listen, that's one of the few things that came from Commander is the power level discussion. I think we should expand the idea of the power level discussion to formats like Modern and Pioneer, so that you can kind of experiment and play some more fun decks with your friends or maybe with your FNM. I think that could be cool. That's the one good thing to come from Commander, and you blew it up playing Angus McKenzie. Thanks, dude.
All right. It's you ready to move on?
And Storyfall got their 30th anniversary promos. Thank you, Watsy, for giving us free promos to give out to our local players. That's very kind and generous of you for supporting your 30th anniversary event. Continue, Louis.
George, you got a little.
Yeah, I got a little common sense on my nose. That's true. I'm sorry I can't just fud up every product like you two bozos.
I have to be on George's side. That was a bad take last week, Josh. That was a rough take. There's school promos. I will say they have not advertised it very well.
That's the take, was that they're not advertising it. The take that's not the talk of the town. It was not that it doesn't exist.
If only there were Magic content creators that could discuss these things, then we'd really be in business, wouldn't we? 2 Magic content creators. How many videos have you two done on this topic?
Listen,
George,
I am for sale.
hold on,
For the right amount of money, I'll talk about anything, Watsy.
Bingo! And we found it. And this is why people don't talk about it, because the money's in the other products.
Hey, George, Mr. Content Creator, without Googling this with your little fat fingers in front of your screen. Nope, no. He already pulled it up. He pulled up the list right there. That's what he's doing right now. I was going to ask the content creator, George, who is on a Magic the Gathering podcast, to tell me the name of one of those promos that he's supposedly...
But you want to know the Brothers War ones or the other ones?
Mine the Brothers War.
My favorite is Wood Elves.
No, they do look
second
cool.
one on the list. Didn't pick the first one. I like that.
I wish they would.
Yeah, I'm no dummy. I'm no dummy.
I like that. I like that.
We're
Good
organic
touch.
this way.
Good touch.
All right, let's move on. Let's keep chatting.
Hold on. I wanted to talk about my favorite card, Loyal Retainers.
Let's talk about Cryptic. We got our Cryptic pledges in. Go check out a box opening on my other channel if you want of Cryptic. In the cards. Is that our sponsor today? In the cards beer?
Why are we not? Where's your Michelob Ultra?
Why aren't you bragging about your Mick Ultra?
Yeah, why aren't you like? I love how you have a real beer and you're just like gently pouring it. Your Mickey Ultra, you're like, here you go. Let me smack it over my forehead and throw it at the camera.
For the record, we will do that if Mick Ultra wants to sponsor the podcast. All in.
Yeah, first of all, Mick Ultra sponsors this podcast. I will do again. I'll do anything for money.
That's wow. All right, there's another platform for that, buddy.
Oh, am I allowed to pump my OnlyFans here?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, that's fair.
encouraged.
So Cryptic delivered this week. Boxy's got in. Shout out to Tanner on getting product in. I love he did LGS's first, which I thought was really cool. He got the product sent out to LGS's and the highest tiers first. I think everybody should have their product by now. Really cool to watch people pull boxes and open boxes and go through the product. We're doing a I don't think we're gonna do it this weekend because there's a million different releases this weekend for games, which is like it's not Tanner's fault. Like he tried to get product out early and then all the delays happened, but it would have been cool to get that stuff before. Like
I think this is fine. I think it's like I agree. I think, but like next week is fine.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
So I'm gonna do like a learn to play event, which I'm pretty excited about. I'm sure I'm doing what we said we should do last week. I'm gonna come to the learn to play event. You get a free set pack of any Magic the Gathering box. Everything's free to the learn to play event. You get one of the booster decks and hang out and play, and you get rewarded with like a product that you like. So like it's worth your time to come in and try a new game. I'm excited for that. Why are you?
You just told us how successful your polls are, man. Give away collector packs. Step up.
No. I don't.
I agree, Josh.
I don't.
I
hate
agree,
myself.
Josh.
And so I'm excited for that. The artwork looks super cool. It's been cool to see polls.
And December 3rd, where can they go to play?
I didn't know that's when the date was. We haven't talked about that in months. Is that when your Cryptic event is? December 3rd?
Yeah, December 3rd.
Cool.
In Best Carolina.
Nobody knows which one that is.
Yeah,
that, right?
which Carolina is that?
If you think North Carolina is the best Carolina, you're not welcome in my store.
That's the one Michael Jordan played basketball at in college. So that's the one I would have guessed.
Wait, where did LeBron play though?
He didn't. He was too
did not
good.
go to college. He's like you.
He's too good.
For the record, I went to college. Everyone.
I also went to college. I just didn't finish.
Did you really not finish?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, George. You don't have to be so high and mighty and above everybody.
Hey,
I meant like never mind.
I went to college and Josh makes a lot more money than I do. So if that's your metric, then
He's employed, of course. He's not like a mediocre middle tier Rudy wannabe content creator. Of course he makes more money than you
The
do.
Rudy wannabe is too far. He
That was
clearly
nice.
doesn't want to be Rudy.
that hurt a lot.
I know.
If it came from somebody that mattered, that would have hurt.
Do you want the respect of your peers?
Don't
So
have it.
you do not have that.
Here's a book.
Here's a book you can't read.
So the one
I'm pretty
thing-
pumped about it. You get the kits, you get the promos, you get the decks, you get all of like a good LGS kit.
Cool. Yeah.
For
for your event on the 3rd of December.
Oh no, we have for my event on the 3rd, we got more goodies. We have exclusive playmats you can only get at the event. I think it's limited to 50. The playmat's amazing. One of the artists will be at the store signing both the playmat they designed and the cards that you pull of his.
See, now I want to come.
You're not going to come. I'm not doing this with you every event I have. I'm sorry. You've used that the first 10 events I had. Like Josh is invited. You are not.
Maybe I'll show up this time.
No, you will not be admitted.
There's a guy outside with your picture just to keep you out.
Yeah. We have military police.
That's a sales pitch.
Shoot on sight. This guy, no good.
All right, you know what? No more pumping your crap on my channel. Get out of here. So
this guy, no good. December 3rd, playmats. We're gonna have a bunch of I think we're gonna have a couple of the rare promos that Tanner's gonna give away. Tanner will be there. He'll sign your forehead or your baby, whichever one you bring. Or Josh's breast, whatever he wants, I guess. Really, as long as Tanner's down, I'm down.
It's good content for his OnlyFans.
That's right.
This is where we play with expensive cardboard with no protection, baby. My OnlyFans is the place to be.
Jesus.
No,
Like
if
Alpha
anyone
Black
on
Lotus's raw shuffling.
God,
tell me you would not watch that content. Tell me you would not watch that content.
I would watch. I would
would
pay for that
100% watch that content.
I would pay $20 a month to view that content on a day-to-day basis.
We're in. We found the new business model. All right, this is the last episode of Metazoo be with you. We're now an Alpha Lotus Shuffling content creator channel.
George, you got to supply the Lodi though. Oh my gosh, they're going to be proxy lotuses. Let's go.
No, this podcast is going nowhere. We buy an Alpha Lotus and we stick it into a regular deck of Magic cards, and it's just shuffling. And then pick the Alpha Lotus. Which one do you think it is? Shuffle. Pick the Alpha Lotus. All right, back to Cryptic.
I actually have something here. I think it's important for events like this for George's. If you're ever on the fence about a TCG, an indie TCG, something new, this is some of the most fun that you can have if you're a fan of experience a new TCG. So if you're on the fence, go to one of these events, because there hasn't any negativity that might happen, any kinks, that haven't been worked out, haven't been discovered yet. Get out there, play these games, and you're going to fall in love, and you're going to find a community of people that really enjoy these. As someone who's been to a lot of indie TCG events myself, I think this is a really important time for games like this. New set releases, anything like that, product releases, you need to get out and play. So if you're on the fence, if you can't get to George's event in whatever Carolina isn't under a hurricane this month, find one of these events and get to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
November hurricanes, you poor soul.
Cold winds blowing,
calling
dude.
him a mini Rudy too mean. Let me mock a natural disaster headed your way.
That was actually mean.
I just want it to be in your store.
Yeah,
just a hurricane in your store.
All right, let's talk about some of the negatives, because it was not a perfect release, and we like to make sure we
like the fun.
No,
it's not. We like to make sure everything is addressed. There is certainly some sorting. I don't know, sorting, shuffling.
It is super unclear. I can't figure out what cards it affects. So there's a rumor of some level of mapping.
So I know as a fact there is mapping in the rare and noble slot, the non-foil rare and noble slot,
right?
Because
okay,
every box I have, you can see the lineup. Now, this is a big deal. Caveat to it being a big deal, there are only 15 noble cards in the set,
right?
So you get
almost one every box anyway.
You get almost every card anyway. So, and this is not hey, if you pull a Charlie, you're going to get 15 Charlies. It's actually the opposite. It's if you pull a Charlie, you know what the next noble is going to be, and I think you can even pretty much, if you open it in line, you can pretty much figure it out. And that's an issue, in my opinion, only for people who are opening product on the internet. You can't be hey, I pulled a Charlie in this box, so there won't be a Charlie in the next box, because the number of nobles is so low. You're almost not guaranteed, but you're highly likely to pull a Charlie in nearly every box.
It's unclear if it affects foils, and I don't think it affects case hits.
Yeah, I think it would be way too difficult to figure out how to make it affect case hits.
So I mean, listen, Cryptic did what we've been talking about the channel, which is add in rarity, add in some spice to the different kind of pulls, and I think those are all safe from the mapping issue, from my understanding.
Yeah,
it was my understanding that foils were safe as well. Is that understanding incorrect?
I think that,
or is it just unknown?
Yeah,
I think it's unknown, but I think it's safe for foil.
Okay,
I think it's also really hard to take advantage of that. I think the only real people who could, I think if you ordered, this is not the same thing as a store can really map out exactly what the box is going to be, and so I'm going to sell you this bad box. Like, that's the part behind addressing some of these mapping issues. We don't want you, the consumer, to get screwed over by a store who might have ill intentions. I don't think you could really do that with the way that this is, because of the number of cards and because it doesn't affect the massive hits.
Yeah, I think if you buy boxes, I think you're safe.
I think
is my understanding.
You could probably, if you were a store and you pulled the massive hit, you could then sell the other boxes in the case, knowing that. But that
is always true game, in everything.
With every game.
Yeah. That was even Magic the Expeditions. That was
I mean, that's not a thing. I think if you buy boxes, you're safe. I think if you buy packs, you need to be careful.
Yeah, I would not buy loose packs, but probably that's fair to any new TCG, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think it's true.
Almost to, unless you're buying like Magic packs from LGS or Pokemon packs from LGS. It's just
buy like one single draft pack every set to collect it.
Come on, man! Don't roll your eyes. It's a weird brag. It's a weird brag. I sold 11 draft packs. You guys are idiots.
I'm committing to the meme. I'm going to start doing that. And I'm going to start selling single packs as a subscription, where you know that you can sign up for my subscription, and every set I will sell you a
Lou's
single pack.
He's going to be out on the corner by his store with single packs.
We'll have less subscribers than that, or Josh is OnlyFans. Find out next week on Metazoo Be With You.
I think Josh is OnlyFans.
I think Josh will have more subscribers. Let me be honest with you.
That's fair.
Listen, I'm like a moderately attractive person to like 2% of the population.
Do you know that there's people who do OnlyFans that's not adult content?
Yeah, like that's the largest one is a computer guy, right?
Yeah.
I am shuffling expensive cardboard without protection. If that's adult content, I want off the internet.
Anyway. So yeah, Cryptic, I think all in all, been a very successful release. Been really cool to see. Obviously, you have the market happening with people flipping and that kind of thing. We had a cool sale with patrons. My patrons got a significant discount from market price. Plus, I threw in some really cool PSA graded promos and other test cards and stuff. It was cool to see people's interest in that. Particularly, one person overseas got 3 bundles to start to use for their LGS, and I threw in some extra of the booster decks to get their LGS involved. It's pretty cool.
And when I talked to Tanner long before release, months before release, when I asked him what are you worried about? What are you following? He's like, what I really don't want to have happen is these things go to the moon, because I've seen what happens after that.
Mm-hmm.
This to me is a very good, healthy number for a booster box to be at for a Kickstarter box.
Yeah.
It's not stupid. You could convince me this is a good value for the box.
Yeah. I think a price under $200 is healthy for a new game like this. That would be close to double, but you don't really want to sell because you lose so much money in fees. And that price point, you're kind of hey, it might be fun to open it up and see what's inside too, for a consumer that doesn't have multiple boxes.
And a lot of the values in that box topper.
Yeah. $2 toppers.
Yeah.
And the chance of getting the case hit, we already talked about. So I think it's really good, really successful. It'll be really cool to see what happens with Wave 2. And
I know they're working on some big competitive play stuff. I know they're working on some big LGS stuff, some big.
I got my LGS kits. They're sweet.
I know they're working on some big things with the LGS stuff coming out soon. Yeah. So I'm pumped to see that. Tanner gets it. Congrats, Tanner.
Yeah.
Good release.
All right. Continuing on to Sorcery. Locked in their cards. Send it to printers. FUD, George? What FUD you got for us today?
I think that's great. Glad they're printing.
Yeah. We got to see some images of the printers and the cards. Really cool. And they also locked in the alpha set on TTS. So now what you play on TTS is the official alpha set, which is really good. And it seems like things are chalking along. I would still like to see a little bit more info in a public way, but I think they are working on that. I think they've got that going on behind the scenes. Interesting to see when that will actually happen. But they've got the rule 0.7 rule update, and they've got the cards coming out on the tabletop simulator. Why are you smiling?
I'm a happy person. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm joyful.
I'm
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
smiling,
joyful.
George?
I apologize. I can't be like you and miserable all the time.
They're locking in their addresses in December as well. So like this is like they're getting ready to ship. They're getting ready to start the process for getting their.
Right. They're not getting ready to ship. That's not accurate. They are
they're getting
asking for your address in December because they're going to ship sometime next year.
Right, because they're going to give that information to their shipping partners, their global shipping partners. So they're getting ready to ship.
Okay.
I didn't say they're.
Listen,
I didn't say.
listen. I don't know if I
they're-
can listen to you guys argue sorcery semantics for another week. We get it. We know your
I didn't
positions
say
on the
that-
matter.
I didn't say
Back,
that-
jeez,
God.
good lord.
Ready to ship.
The only thing I care about in my life is when sorcery comes out and when Lorcana comes out, and knowing which one was right and which one was wrong.
Listen,
I can't wait.
That's your dangerous path. Don't compare the two on release.
I think it's
Don't
great.
have
I think
the
it's great.
same
I think it's fine.
expectations for the two.
I think I agree with you completely.
Don't do that.
The only
No.
like the disappointing part will be when both of them succeed or both of them fail. And when it's like when I won the bet with George and George has to ship you my collector box of
God, it's gotta be
Dominaria
soon.
United. Yeah, it's like next week.
Is that what's happening? Because I'm not nearly as satisfied with that. Just so we're clear.
I haven't lost the bet yet to George. I haven't won the bet yet with George. I mean, I'm gonna win the bet, but I haven't won it.
It's not looking good. If anybody wants a great Magic buyout that would really help their favorite content creator, and you have a lot of money, and I mean like a lot of money.
A lot of money.
If you're like, I could either buy out every Alpha Lotus or help George out, and you're like, I want to help George out, please buy out Dominaria collectors. That'd be great for me.
Rudy, if
Thank
you're
you.
listening.
Rudy,
That's your
I just said
buyout
you were my
target.
top 2 content creators.
Let me go out on a limb and say Rudy's got some Dominaria bags already.
That's Listen, I know Rudy always has good takes, so he thought the same thing as I did going into Dominaria United.
So bad take?
That did not follow.
Listen, sometimes we miss. Sometimes we miss, okay?
All right. George, can you call him a Rudy wannabe yet? Like when does that happen?
He does gameplay.
Yeah, it's tough. That's
He doesn't get views, but he's not a Rudy wannabe.
Okay.
Gosh. Says the guy who gets no views and
Yeah.
You know, this week, George, that hurts this week. That's
the name of the
It's
podcast.
gameplay. What do you expect? Nobody watches gameplay.
This is fair.
The only gameplay people want to watch is StarCraft 2.
It's actually the problem is more the YouTube algorithm.
No,
watching
the
it.
problem is nobody wants to watch gameplay.
No, YouTube YouTube pushes videos that are 10 minutes. And so gameplay is not 10 minutes. And so YouTube doesn't push it out to anybody. So nobody else
Incoming
gameplay.
gameplay at 4x speed. Only on Hometown TCG, baby.
While I shuffle lotuses.
10-minute Explorer League. Let's go.
yeah.
In
Cool.
my head, I was like, why do you have an Explorer watch? What a wild, like, you have a Rolex? That's amazing. Good for you. Then it made sense.
All right.
My bags are pumping.
So update on the game. Sorcery is coming to you. Hopefully.
It's shipping soon.
I don't know if Sorcery's coming to you yet.
All right. Continuing through the
Lou's just lying now. This is amazing.
I never said that. I didn't say it was shipping soon. I said they are preparing for shipping. Which is
You
an
just ended
accurate
the
thing.
segment. Sorcery is coming to you. It's just a
Soon.
little misleading. A little bit.
At some point. Genesis Worlds. Things that are coming to you, but not America.
One of my
because
other top 2 favorite
because-
content creators is At Worlds.
Nobody knows who you're talking about.
Magic Historian. This
Oh, that's cool.
podcast's favorite content
You've got like
creator.
6 top 2 favorite content
I have
creators, just
2
so you know.
top 2 content creators. Rudy and Magic Historian. That's it. Everybody, those are the only 2 TCG content creators that I can stomach for more than like 1 video a month.
Thanks.
Like I've made this clear the entire time. And for very opposite reasons, might I add.
So George and I's private conversations have become content. And
Yeah,
one
that's
of
actually accurate. That's accurate.
one of the things we say to each other all the time is, "This is terrible content." Like when my kids are yelling on the George is like, "This is horrible content. Can we move on?" How do our friendship is just content.
It's just a podcast now. Our life is a podcast. We are trapped. We are trapped in May the Zoo be with you.
What did I get myself into? What am I
Trapped in
doing?
May the Zoo be with you.
And
What am I doing?
And when George goes to sleep, I call Josh and I talk to Josh for 3 hours.
Yeah, you know, being your backup's great. I feel very good about
you're not
that.
my backup. You're my never mind.
Side piece.
Nothing. Let's go. Can we talk about Genesis Worlds, please?
No, that's way less interesting than this. And Genesis Worlds is very interesting.
All right, Genesis Worlds in Canada. So like, yeah.
I'm glad nobody knows the city, by the way. I'm glad to us, Canada, just one snow-filled mountain. It's basically Mount Everest, the whole country.
But like, what are we supposed to be like? It's in Toronto, and then nobody has any clue where that is. Like, it doesn't give it doesn't give anybody any clarifying.
I know it's not in Quebec because they did not speak French to me on the phone. That's
not
it.
for a weird segue, but I'm pretty sure the dwarves in Legions was modeled after Canada.
What?
Yeah. I forgot. You guys don't play the game. You have no idea what I'm talking about.
We don't do gameplay videos.
I don't. I'm gonna be. I don't know how it was modeled after Canada. Canada is it's a country. How is it?
It's a snow barren wasteland in a mountain. That's where they're from.
Gotcha.
Do you do Genesis? Do you do Legion's lore videos and Magic gameplay videos?
This is terrible content. This right now is bad content. This is George and I's conversations. All right,
no, I got to know. Wait, I agree with you. This is bad content. I have to know that answer. Do you do Legion's lore stuff?
YouTube.com/HometowTCG, baby. Find out for yourself.
Come find out.
I want you to know. I'm going to check out your channel tonight. That worked.
So,
that worked.
Genesis Worlds.
Wide open meta. People are super pumped. Magic Historian is there, being amazing because Magic Historian can be nothing but amazing. I love him.
You only like him because he just
KitchenTable
roasted
2.0
Rudy.
is because Louis doesn't call me crying into cookie dough anymore now that he's on version 2.0.
I don't.
That is the worst part of 2.0.
How
Now that
dare
he
you
has
be
actual
happy.
subscribers and people actually watch his videos, the tears have stopped. And that's just way less exciting for me.
This is fair.
Yeah.
I'm bringing back the Ivory Tower YouTube meme. I forgot about that until just now.
Thanks, George.
Welcome back.
All right. What for Worlds? Also cool to see people like excited for the community to gather. I think that's the thing that I've taken away. It's like there's there's a community that's traveling. Like it might be small. Sick. It's not massive, but like there's a community of people who are excited to hang out and travel together.
Genesis has by far the best community of any TCG.
It's
by a mile. There's no other TCG that's close. No other TCG is in the same universe.
I think the scales is what we're learning a lot with TCGs is when it gets big, it gets hard to keep your kind of.
I think that's absolutely true.
But yeah, it is cool. It's cool to see people excited to hang out together and hope you guys have fun. You guys are. They're leaving. Tim is leaving on Wednesday, so.
And they have special 5-year.
It's really not this weekend. It's really not this weekend. It's next weekend.
Yeah. So they have special 5-year promos.
Cool.
They're going to be there.
Events like that, man, are sick. You travel across the vast barren wasteland of Canada with your raiding party and show up and have to fend for food. And
there's a last chance event. I think it's in the Genesis Discord, but there's a last chance event to join the Worlds. I think it's on Friday or Saturday. Look at the Genesis tournament. So like there's one more chance to get into it if you're still looking for an invite. Looks awesome. Congrats to them. Super pumped for it.
Cool. All right, let's talk Metazoo Hero Quest
2.0.
Yeah.
Do you think he stole that from Kitchen Table 2.0?
Well, he doesn't know who I stole it from then. So this is either the most interesting thing or thing I'm confused by of Metazoo kind of ever.
What?
He's partnering with really cool people. Spotify, iTunes, Apple, or not Apple Music. That's iTunes.
Is iTunes still a thing? Oh, you always struggle with this. Oh,
yeah,
God.
Spotify, Apple Music, and I think, did I see Amazon Music? Is that the other one?
Oh my God, just keep going. This is terrible content.
It's crazy to me to think like everybody was okay with that. Like in some of these contracts aren't like, hey, if you're gonna partner with Spotify, you can't partner with like the competitor. Am I just out in left field here? Like, is this gonna be one set where you can open up?
Like when I listen to my homegirl T Swizzle, shout out to Taylor, I can listen to her on any platform.
Right. I'm aware of that.
Sure, but the difference between your homegirl T Swizzle and someone like, I think, what is it, Joe Rogan's is contracted and partnered with a platform, his content is only available on that platform. Generally, when you partner with the platform, your content's only available there.
So like this set will feature 4 unique and limited blisters with 4 incredible companies to be revealed, and then they've revealed. So like you're gonna open up the blister and there's gonna be either a Spotify, an Apple Music, an iTunes, Amazon. Like it's super interesting to me. Like I just think it's a really interesting idea. Like
I love how focused you are on the partners that I don't think you've said 4 yet, by the way.
I don't think he's released the 4th one.
Okay. Like I suspect it's gonna be a blister, so you'll be able to see which one you're getting, right?
Oh, you think each blister is individual?
I suspect you're gonna get I suspect Shores will get like a pack of 4, and you'll get like one of each of the channels.
It's super interesting.
Is it like credit towards that sponsor? Or is it a card themed around that?
I think
sponsor?
it's a card with that logo on it. Like he did the eBay card. I suspect it'll be like that, but we don't know.
So,
wait, go ahead. Then I want to talk about the real MetaZoo topic.
I also saw a QR code on it, which I think is interesting. I assume the QR code goes to the song, like that's on there.
I would assume,
and that's pretty. I think that's a really interesting way to do things. I would like to see what.
Nothing. I'm not sure why you're confused by this product. I'll be honest with you.
I'm confused by
standard
like
product.
I don't think it's anyway. I want to see it start working the opposite way though too. Like I want to see Metazoo on Spotify when you play Hero Quest. It shows like Metazoo characters. You know, like when you're watching. You don't know this, George, but Josh, do you know when you're listening to Spotify and like the musicians have their music video type thing going on?
I have Spotify.
Yeah, but you're old. I want to see Metazoo. Like I think the animated show would be really cool if you saw some of that stuff within some of the online stuff in Aoki's Hero Quest stuff that interacts with it. But okay, George, what do you want to talk about? You obviously have no interest in like dialoguing here about this. So
I feel like I've dialogued and corrected you on this. Okay. So I think it's great.
What would you like to talk about?
He said he's going to announce who he's doing the shorts with. I believe he said this week or next week.
That's cool.
That is probably the most important Metazoo announcement in a long time.
Ever?
Maybe ever? I didn't want to say ever without thinking it through, but like probably the most important announcement ever for the zoo.
Cool.
Like the shorts are where this is going. And I think you will see that in your stupid Spotify video thing, Louis, if it helps any. This is going to be the moment for Metazoo. Like they need a good partner. The short has to be great, and they got to nail this. And I think they will. But like announcing that partner is a very big step.
Yeah, we've said this already in the podcast a lot. Like this seems to be the future of Metazoo. And like I don't know that we ever knew exactly what the future was for Metazoo, but this seems to be what they're gravitating towards is like animated show and shorts. And so I think like this, in my opinion, needs to be done right. This is like the culmination of what they've been working towards.
I think it will be. And Mike's book comes out the end of the year, I think he said.
Yeah. I mean, I can't read. So like, what am I supposed to do?
All right, you got me. That was a good one. Because I couldn't figure out what was going on, but you got me.
Like, I don't know, man. I think the number of people who like play I think their shorts are gonna be 3 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. But the number of people who watch an animated short show or whatever, compared to the number of people who are gonna sit down and read a book, are probably nobody reads books. I'm sorry. Who's gonna sit down and read a book?
Nobody cares about the respect of their peers enough to read a book. I'm sorry. Okay, not worth it. I'd rather watch a cartoon.
Like nobody. Like I don't know. Like people will buy it because I'm sure there'll be a promo card, which is cool. And I think some people will love that lore and love that book stuff. But like, I'm way more excited for the animated show. And I hope the lore from the book is in that, so I don't have to read.
This is amazing. I'm glad you're like admitting, like, I won't read. Not worth it. I will watch it on the TV. Right. More than 10 words, I'm out. The Louis de George story.
You know how many times I've watched Harry Potter since I was in high school, middle school, whenever it came out?
I have no idea. How would I know that number?
I've probably watched Harry Potter 50 times
Oh.
since then. You know how many times I've read the books?
That's approaching creepy levels, just so you know.
Why?
Wait, is that true?
Yeah, I love Harry Potter. You don't like Harry Potter?
So I never read Harry. I don't read fiction. And
Yeah, but you were old when Harry Potter came out.
And so one of my best friends and I were like we're gonna watch every Harry Potter movie, and we watched them all in like 3 days.
Yeah,
did not enjoy.
Really?
Yeah, did not for me.
I like Harry
Not
Potter.
for me. The most recent one with the dude in the bank and the vault and that guy, that was pretty good.
I don't watch that kind of Harry Potter. Once it's like through the main story, I'm done with everything.
You're done.
Star Wars, I don't want to watch The Mandalorian. Like,
Really?
No, I watched the first season, but I like give me the meat, the good stuff. I don't want like the side stories. I don't know. It doesn't interest me.
Really? So like the Disney Star Wars, like you're not watching it?
I'll go see those like in probably not anymore, but like they've ruined Star Wars for me.
Yeah,
Oh my
100%. I'm with you 100%. 9 is easily the worst movie ever made.
Why are we here again? I am stuck in the
worst
movie with you universe.
I used to watch Star Wars every May, like for May the 4th. I would watch all. I don't even watch the originals anymore because they ruined the originals for me with the new ones.
You know what? I totally get that. I totally get it. Like once you're like force healing, I can only force heal you if I make out with you at the end. What's going on now? How did this happen? So terrible.
But what I don't do is read the Star Wars books because I don't read books and nobody else does either. And so like where this comes back to is like I hope that the show's good because like Mike, I'm sure your book's great. Good luck. May the zoo be with you. I'm not gonna read it.
Really? You're not gonna buy the Metazoo book?
I'll probably buy a book. Whatever. The promo.
He's gotta put it on his shelf so it looks like he reads.
No, God, I don't do that. Not at all. But like I got Tanner's Cryptic comics in. And I read like
I look at the pictures.
Read half of one. And I was like, I mean, I'm sure at some point somebody will make a YouTube video about it and I can listen to it. Like
Josh, that's your music, baby.
I just like I'm not a like you're gonna read the book?
The Metazoo book?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll read the Metazoo book.
How do you feel, Louis? Let's come to an agreement. How do you feel about audiobooks?
So I liked audiobooks for a while, but then I realized that podcasts are better. And most authors
shout out this podcast.
Like, so I don't read fiction. I don't have like if I'm gonna listen to something, I want it to like better my life.
I agree with that actually.
Like I
way to insult every person listening to this podcast right now.
I don't want to
directly to their face.
I want to listen to something that's like about how to not be a crappy business owner so that I could be a better one. Or
you need to stop talking because we have done none of that on this podcast and people are listening to it. Stop talking.
Oh,
stop it.
Yeah, or I want to listen to something that's funny and entertaining and encouraging. No, but I don't want to listen to like then Harry Potter jumped off the thing and onto a broomstick and whatever. Like I don't want.
What podcast are you listening to? Where they just narrate the book?
That's the Harry Potter OnlyFans podcast where Harry Potter jumps off onto the broomstick.
Like what?
I'll tell you what I would listen to is a Metazoo lore podcast with Mike. Like instead of him writing a book, he did a podcast and like was like about the Metazoo lore. Like I would listen to that.
I'll listen to that.
I'm not going to read the book though. I don't think I'm alone. The comment section.
I think it's a comic book.
No.
Oh, it's a full book.
I think it's a book. Even their comic book was a book.
That's true.
Like, I think it's a book, buddy. Like it's like a novel, which is great. Like if my daughter was like, if my daughter was like 12 and I was like, hey, I want you to practice your reading skills, I'd get her a Metazoo book. Like, that seems great. But I'm not going to read it as an adult. Like, I don't know. Like, what do you want from me?
What
would do is
choices
learn
did
to
I
read
what
books.
choices did I make that have me sitting in this seat right now? If I could go back to my 20-year-old self, like, make different choices, dude.
Don't go on May the Zoo be with you.
What is
Listen,
happening?
I don't know. Maybe I'll get roasted for this, but I'm not reading the book.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't
No,
think
I
you'll get
think-
roasted for this.
Listen, I think not reading is a pretty common sentiment.
amongst May the Zoo be with you listeners in particular.
When we start referring to comic books as books, I think we're
Put in the comment section below if you're able to read.
Type it out.
And for those who can't, just guess. Just guess what the comments are saying.
I don't know. It's not like
make better choices, Josh.
anyway.
Also put in the comment section below what better choices Josh could have made other than going on this podcast. You could have done gameplay content instead of this, Josh.
Yeah,
Think about that. You could have another 30-minute video of you playing Modern.
Oh, he really doesn't watch my channel. It's kind of heartwarming.
No, I
All
don't.
right, everyone. We have died. We have. This
I'm
is
crying.
This is gone south.
Are you
Well,
sure, Louis? I feel like we really nailed the I feel like we've really hit our stride now.
All right,
I'm
everyone.
crying from George's view insults, but also from laughing.
We have come to that time where it is the end of. I hope you got something good at the beginning of this podcast. The rest of it horrible. But welcome to the end of the podcast where three friends try to figure out how to end this thing.
How to read.
And hopefully we gave you something of value.
Spoiler, we did not.
I think we did. We had to. Yeah, I don't know. If you have the ability to read and to type comments, we encourage you to interact in the comment section.
I don't care if you read the comments, just post a comment. Great for the algo. And
Make
also
sure-
share the sucker.
Click the share button.
That's all I really care about.
If you can read it.
If you can, oh, that's true. If not,
It's
it's,
the big
the
arrow
arrow.
one,
It's
guys.
the
It's the
arrow.
big
It's the
arrow.
arrow.
Remember to be kind to the people around you. You can do that without reading. And may this be with you.
Also with you,
Also with you, dude.
Louis.